What's up guys? In today's video I'll actually be going over an advanced combat and movement guide. So this video is gonna show you guys a lot of tips and tricks and settings that you guys are probably not using yet, which are definitely gonna make you a better player, get you a higher KD. And yeah, you're definitely gonna win more gunfights implementing these tips, tricks, and settings in your gameplay. So all the pro players are using these tips, tricks, and settings, and that's what makes them stand out from the average player. So you guys will, I promise you, you guys will definitely learn something from this video. You guys will become a better player. So stay tuned. It took me a very long time making this video. A lot of effort was put into this video, so I really appreciate it if you guys could stick around, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment what kind of content you guys want to see next, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright guys, so the first thing we're gonna go over is shouldering. So some of you guys may already know what shouldering is, but shouldering is like you moving left to right behind cover just to see just to get information basically. So if you're gonna see if there's somebody coming towards you or something, this is very useful in Warzone because while you're playing you obviously don't have your gun out. You can just kind of move left and right and gather information. So I'll show you what it would look like. So let's say I'm behind cover here and I think there's a guy pushing me. All I'm gonna do is do this. If they look at me, they're not gonna have time to kill me, but I'm gonna be gathering information doing it. So if you don't know if anyone is in front of you or you're plating up and you want to know if you are getting pushed or not, this is very useful. All the pro players do this. There's a few different ways of doing it. So I showed you guys this one way of just moving left to right, but let's say you're in this doorway, you could just keep sliding across. They won't have the time to kill you, but you will keep gathering information. So you can either slide across, you can jump across, and that way gather information. So yeah, that's the first tip or trick that I'm gonna give you guys. It's super useful. This is definitely something that separates the good from the bad players, so definitely make sure to implement that in your gameplay. Alright, the next tip or trick that we're gonna go over is snaking. So snaking is kind of similar to shouldering. It's a really broken mechanic. So in the pro Call of Duty League, they actually G8, they made a gentleman's agreement that nobody is allowed to snake, just of how broken this mechanic is. So what snaking is I'm not sure, maybe you guys have seen this before, but so the way you want to do this is you want to use your left stick. You're going to use your left stick to move backwards while going prone, and then you're gonna sprint forward basically. And what this does is it makes it pretty much impossible for another person to kill you. They're only gonna see your head poking out for a millisecond, so it's gonna be really hard for them to kill you. We might be able to see in the kill cam here, but yeah, it is impossible for them to kill you there. It's pretty much impossible to even see you, let alone fire shots at you when you're doing that. So that's a mechanic that's been disallowed in competitive pro play, so definitely make sure to use this. This is another thing that definitely separates good players from bad players. In Warzone, you're even able to do it while plating, so it's a good way when you're plating and you want to see if you're getting pushed. Just use that same movement. Just go into a private game, learn how to do it, because it is quite tough at first, but once you're used to it, it's definitely gonna help you out of some sticky situations. Alright, the next tip or trick that we're gonna be going over is actually, it has to do with centering, but it's the fact that a lot of people actually use their left trigger before they start shooting at someone. So this is actually really broken. If you are centering on someone and use your R1 before your L1, or your right trigger before your left trigger, it's gonna give you way stronger aim assist. So this is what makes it seem like some people have aimbot, because they just have really good centering and they use their R1 before they start shooting before they aim down sight, which gives you it makes you feel like you have aimbot or like way stronger aim assist. So this is something that I always see like people that are a little bit worse at the game struggle with. They never like shoot before they're aiming down sight. So as you guys can see, it like you want to start hip firing before you ADS, which is if you're centered on someone, it's going to make your aim assist feel a lot stronger. So this is definitely something that a lot of the pro players do that I see a lot of worse players not do. And this is definitely something that you're going to want to do. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna go over is actually gonna be a setting. You're gonna go to settings, go to controller, and then under controller, go to dead zone inputs and show more, and then make sure that your left stick max is at 75 or below. At 75 or below, you're gonna have way more and stronger rotational aim assist. So what rotational aim assist is basically like left stick aiming. So if you're moving your left stick around, your aim assist is gonna drag a lot more. So like whenever you're shooting, you make sure that you're not just standing still, but make sure that you're like moving around while shooting. It's gonna make your aim assist feel a lot stronger. So this is definitely something that you want to do. Having it under 75 gives you like the best results. It's going to give you the best, it's going to make sure that rotational aim assist is always going to be implemented when you're like moving around. So definitely give that a try. So the next tip that I'm going to give you guys, this is actually, a lot of people are probably gonna hate me for this just because of how broken it is. This is another thing that got disallowed in pro play just because of like how broken it is. But it's actually called stair glitching. So what stair glitching is like basically head glitching stairs. If someone is over there like trying to engage in a gunfight with me, they're not gonna be able to shoot me until they're like closer to me. So maybe you'll be able to see it there. See, like my head, you can see my head over there. So that's something that's really, really broken. So a lot of people in like ranked play get really annoyed if you do this, but it is so broken. If they're over there, they cannot kill you. They can only kill you when they get closer. So definitely make sure to give this a try. I know a lot of people are probably gonna hate me for this just because of like how cheesy that tip is, but yeah, I promise you guys I'm gonna give you all the advanced like combat and movement tips. So hey, if it's gonna gain you guys some SR in rank play or whatever, then that's what I'm gonna have to do, you know. Alright guys, so the next tip or trick that I'm gonna show you guys is called cameraing. So what you do when you're cameraing is like you slide behind an opponent or jump behind an opponent. So this is super easy to do if you're getting pushed by someone, for example. So let's say this guy is coming to push me. He's gonna like run my direction, and as he's like coming close, I'm gonna slide out under his aim. So his aim assist is not even gonna drag on me, and I'm gonna be on the other side of him. So at this point, he has to turn around the whole way before he can start like shooting at me. So this is a really good thing to do if you're like being outnumbered, or if you're at low health and you have nowhere to run. Make sure to like slide behind them. It's gonna give you the best possible outcome. Like it's gonna give you the best chances of actually winning that gunfight. I'll be showing you guys some examples of where I'm doing this, where you can tell like these guys just, it makes the enemy players like look like bots. Like it's an insane tip or trick. I definitely use this in my gameplay so much. Like it's such a broken mechanic. So definitely make sure to give that a try. If you're good at it, like it's gonna save you out of so many clutch situations. So definitely give this a try. Alright, so the next mechanic we're gonna go over is dolphin diving off of buildings in Warzone. So what dolphin diving does is like it's gonna give you more movement and more height when you're jumping off buildings and cliffs and stuff. It's absolutely insane to like go for some jump spots. Like if you're jumping off a building, sometimes you can't even pull your parachute, or it's just gonna like, it's not giving you as much movement and tempo that like dolphin diving would do. So dolphin diving is going to give you a lot of height and a lot of speed. So using dolphin diving like off buildings and off cliffs, it's actually going to make it so that you have the opportunity to like make jumps that you wouldn't be able to make before. And like when you're running down a hill, if you dolphin dive off, you can actually pull your parachute so you can like fly off the hill. Whereas like if you're jumping off a hill or off a cliff, like sometimes you can't even pull your parachute, so you're just forced to like run down the hill. So the next tip or trick that I'll be going over is actually gonna be using doors to your advantage. So what I mean by using doors to your advantage is actually closing doors behind you, so that if you're getting chased by someone, closing a door behind you is gonna make it so that they have to bust through the door, and then you can hear in your headset that the guy is chasing you. So this is something that a lot of pro players and a lot of like really good Warzone players do, just to give them the advantage. Like if they're chasing you, like one, they're not gonna have the line of sight on you if you close the door behind you. Two, you're gonna hear the door being opened behind you. So a lot of good players are very good at using the doors to their advantage. So another thing that they do is there's a setting called sprinting door bash. Make sure you have that setting on. What this setting does is it makes you able to like sprint through doors, and it's gonna look really insane on the enemy's POV. Like you're gonna be able to make some really great plays with this. Okay, so he's coming, break his camera, get behind him, using that door, and it's gonna look insane on their point of view. They're like, why did this door just open in my face? And little do they know that you're already behind them, you're already killing them. So this is like using doors to your advantage is definitely something that a lot of pro players do, that you guys should also start doing. So the next tip or trick that I'll be going over is actually something that I've never really seen anybody else do, or like never seen discussed in like another like advanced movement or combat video. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to hold down your left trigger, so you're gonna be aiming down sight while mentaling onto like an object. So a lot of people always get caught mentaling because they put their gun down, and then you're gonna have to aim down sight again while you're mentaling. So what I always do is I keep my left trigger I keep aiming down sight while I'm mentaling on top of something, so I never have to pull my gun down, and like I'm always aiming down sight. So this is definitely something that when you're mentaling, it always makes you like unaim down sight. So like a lot of people get frustrated when they're like accidentally mentaling. So when I mental something, I make sure to keep aiming down sight, and that's gonna make it so that you don't have to put your gun down, and you're always gonna be ready for the gunfight. So what a lot of people would do here is like they would just mental like this, and then they would have to aim down sight again. But what I like doing, if I know that, okay, I'm gonna have to mental this, I just hold down my left trigger and I jump up like that. And that way I'm still gonna be aiming down sight. It's not gonna give me that awkward timing of not being aiming down sight. So this is definitely a really good trick, definitely a very useful trick. If you like know that you're gonna have to mental something, just make sure that you're aiming down sight while you're doing it. So the next setting I'll be going over is actually movement based. So you're gonna go over to gameplay and then slide/dive behavior. You're gonna set this to hybrid. So what hybrid does is makes it so that you can slide and dolphin dive. So with hybrid, if you want to dolphin dive, you're gonna like hold down your left analog stick while sliding, and that's gonna make you dolphin dive. So dolphin diving can be used to, like I mentioned before, you can like jump off buildings and pull your parachute in Warzone. But another really cool way of using it is to like dolphin dive onto a ledge, and it's gonna make your gun like, you're gonna be able to use your gun right away. So usually when you dolphin dive, there's a delay before you can aim down sight and shoot. But if you like dolphin dive on top of a ledge, it's gonna reset that, and you're gonna be able to like get into a gunfight right away without having to pull your gun up again. So this is something that like Shotzi does a lot. I'll show you guys some examples of him doing it, but all you want to do is like you want to dolphin dive onto a ledge and then like pull your gun up basically. So the next tip or trick that I'll show you guys is gonna be, I think it's called the PDS or the PRD. It's the thing that like makes you fly up into the air, and then you can like pull your parachute and go somewhere. So it's that little machine. I don't really know how to explain it better than that, but what a lot of pro players will do when they're going for high kill games in like Rebirth or big map, they'll go to a buy station and they'll buy 1 or 2 of these devices just so that they can rotate faster. So that way you don't have to like run from point A to point B. Like you're always gonna be ready for your next gunfight because you're simply just gonna be flying over to the next gunfight. You're gonna buy one, you're gonna use it, and then you're gonna just pull your parachute, and that way you can cover way greater distances than when you would be running, which is going to be essential if you want to drop high kill games. So obviously if you have balloons near you, you'll use balloons, but this is something that all the good Warzone players, when they go for high kill games, they make sure to buy their PRDs or PDS, whatever they're called, at the buy station to rotate from one fight to the next fight. Another thing that is so essential, the next tip, is gonna be stowing lethals and tacticals in your inventory. So I was mind blown to know that like a lot of the players that want to get better, like they don't know about this, but you can stow different tacticals and different lethals in your inventory. So what some of the best Warzone players will do is, like, let's say they have 2 throwing knives and 2 smokes in their as their lethal and tactical equipment. If you see two frag grenades or 3 frag grenades laying somewhere, you can stow them in your inventory, and the same goes for any different like tactical or lethal equipment. So what a lot of good players will do is they will stow it in their inventory and then use it to their advantage in their next gunfight. So they can still keep their throwing knives, but then if, let's say, they're pushing into a building, they know, oh, all these guys are camping in this room, let me just grab these frags out of my inventory to throw them in there, because that's going to give me a better chance of winning that gunfight. So definitely make sure to stow different like tactical and lethal equipment in your inventory. Alright, so the next tip or trick I'm going to be going over is definitely going to be for controller players. So you can also kind of use this to your advantage if you're on keyboard and mouse. So the next thing I'll be going over is knowing when you lose aim assist. So you guys know that sometimes you'll lose aim assist in smokes. You always lose aim assist, so use that to your advantage. If you're a mouse and key player, it is very smart to play inside of smokes, because the players you're playing against, the controller players, are not going to have aim assist in the smokes, while you're still going to be able to just use your mouse and keyboard. Like it's a big advantage for mouse and keyboard players to like play inside of smokes, because a lot of all the controller players won't have aim assist in the smokes. So that's one thing where you lose aim assist. The other thing is behind objects or pillars. Like if you're behind objects or pillars, or like a staircase, or if you're like inside staircases with like railings there, if you're shooting through the railings or by a pillar, or like someone is laying down behind like a bicycle or something, you're never gonna get aim assist there. So knowing this is gonna be very crucial, because if you're aware that you're gonna lose aim assist in that gunfight, you're obviously gonna like play a little more careful with your aim. Like you're not gonna rely on your aim assist as much. So the next tip I'll be going over is gonna be about parkour and jump spots. So you can actually, there are some really insane jumps that you can do in like Rebirth, the big map, in any type of map, that if you know the map and the layout of the map well enough, you can use these jump spots to your advantage. The enemy is not going to be predicting you to use these jump spots, so make sure that like you use them to your advantage. You can like jump off of the roof of a building and then ledge onto a window, and that way you can like get into a second story without having to go up the stairs. So like what a lot of players that are like camping a building will do is they'll they'll be watching the stairs and every way up that they think that people could come from. But you want to make sure that you can use like some jump spots to your advantage to like appear out of nowhere, and they're not going to be ready for that. So that's definitely a good way of like dealing with campers and outplaying opponents, so make sure to use that. Another really good thing to know is that in Warzone you have a lot of AC units. You can actually ledge onto all these AC units, like you can mantle them. So using that, you can go for some crazy jump spots, you can do some crazy parkour, and they're never gonna expect you coming from like one of these jump spots or parkour spots. So definitely make sure to use that as well. So the next thing, obviously I'm sure that like a lot of you guys know about it already, but it's gonna be live pinging. So whenever you're in a gunfight and the enemy is like close to cover, make sure to live ping them. To live ping them, it's the button that goes up on your D-pad. So if you live ping them, a lot of the buildings in Warzone you can actually wallbang. So if you're live pinging them and then just keep shooting where the red dot is taking you, you're probably gonna keep damaging them. Like obviously this doesn't work for every building and every map, but like there's a very good chance that you're gonna like be able to finish off that kill if you keep wallbanging them. And having that live ping on them is so essential, because you know if they're gonna like re-challenge you, if they're gonna like appear back away from cover, or if they're gonna keep running. So you can always play around that. So live pinging is something that all the really good players do, so make sure to use that to your advantage as well. Alright, we almost made it to the end of this video, but the next thing I'll be going over is zip glitching. So in Warzone you have a lot of zip lines. So these are the zip lines that, like, let's say if you're playing Rebirth, like you can take the zip line from bottom prison to top prison. And what you can do is you can use your left stick and go backwards with your left stick and pressing your jump button at the same time when you're almost at the top of the zip line. And this way you're not gonna just be sitting still at the top of the zip for like a second and a half or a second, but it's actually gonna launch you above the zip line, and you're gonna be able to pull your gun out, kill someone while you're like floating in the air. This is something that all the pro players do, so you're definitely gonna want to make sure that you know how to do this, because when you're at the top of a zipline and you don't do this zip glitch, then you're just gonna be sitting there. It's gonna be so easy for the enemy to kill you. But if you pull your left stick backwards and press X or your jump button when you're almost at the top of the zip, it's gonna bounce you off and you're gonna be able to take that gunfight. They're not gonna know what's going on to them. Like, you're gonna be able to kill them really easily there. So definitely make sure to use that. So the next tip I'll be going over is crack aiming. This is something that a lot of people started doing last year in MW2. It's basically like tapping your left trigger and like aiming down sights in a place that you think an enemy is gonna appear from. So if they like jump the corner and you're like tapping your left trigger, it's once they jump out the corner and you're like tapping your left trigger, your aim is gonna lock onto that target. So it's gonna feel like you have aimbot. Like, the best Dashi is someone with the best gun skill in the whole game right now. He used to do this all the time. His aim would always lock onto enemy targets when he was doing this. So definitely make sure to do this, especially when someone is like trying to camera you or like jumping from place to place. This is definitely something that's gonna be very useful for you to make sure that your aim sticks to him and not just like and that you don't lose aim assist. Alright, so the last tip and trick that I'll be going over is to give you better audio settings. So as you guys know, in Warzone and in Call of Duty in general, sometimes you basically don't hear any type of footsteps. So the audio can be really bad, and if you're on PC, there's a way to make your audio a little bit better. It's still gonna like be a little bit inconsistent, but it's gonna be better at least. So what you're gonna want to do is you want to go to your settings, go to your sound settings, right click it, click sounds, and then go to playback, click the device that you're using for your playback. For me it's the headset earphone Astro Mix Amp Pro Voice. So once you're on that, click properties, go to enhancements and then click loudness equalization. Make sure to check this. After that, go to your settings in there, make sure it's at short and not long. This is going to give you the best audio. Once you're done with that, click apply, and now your audio in Warzone and Call of Duty is going to sound a lot better. You're going to hear footsteps a lot better, so definitely make sure to use that. Alright guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. That video took a long time for me to make. It took a lot of effort, a lot of time. So if you guys could like the video, subscribe and comment down below, that would mean the world to me. I really hope this video is gonna do well. I think I handled some really good tips that a lot of people probably didn't know about, that you guys should definitely start using. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll catch you boys in the next one. Peace.